coming your way after Charlotte with a rundown of what else is happening. Good morning to you.
Eamon, thanks very much. Good morning. David Cameron and Nick Clegg will unveil the full details of their historic coalition deal this morning and reveal what they claim is common ground over a wide range of policy areas. One of those areas of agreement was merchandise, so we're asking you what you think of them. This morning, would you go and buy some merchandise with them on it? Let us know. news@sky.com for your emails, or you can send us a message on Twitter @SkyCharlotte or @Eamon Holmes. You look like you're impressed with them.
Well, the names are strange. Wenlock and Mandeville. What's that about?
Well, it all relates to the history of the Olympics. This is, I think, I was listening to Seb Kerr yesterday saying it's where one of them is the place where the man who created the Olympics lived, and the other one's connected to the Paralympics. So there is a reason behind the strange names.
And are they only cartoon characters, or will they?
No. You can see them in the flesh. Big sort of furry things as well. A bit like Teletubbies, I guess.
Well, there we go. Wenlock and Mandeville, let us know what you think. Maybe it's just me. Sky News Sunrise on a Thursday morning. Good morning. This is Rowena Davis. Rowena's a political journalist. She's going to have your newspapers and what she thinks of them in about 10 minutes' time. Top story this morning, post-mortem test to be carried out. In a moment, the paper review, but first here's Charlotte with what else is happening in the news.
Eamon, thank you. David Cameron and Nick Clegg will unveil the full details of their historic coalition deal this morning, revealing what they're claiming is common ground over a wide range of policy areas. One of those areas of agreement was the pledge to tackle the bed price.
See, why have you to spoil it all when they all look cute and cuddly and you have to bring in all that financial £80 million? You're just going, and you say, well, they're there to get us £80 million.
Well, the bottom line, that's what they're there for, though, isn't it? To generate interest.
It's a very harsh, hard look at things. Rowena Davis, she's going to have an opinion on this very shortly. She's reviewing the morning newspapers. And we start with a very controversial move. Channel 4 is going to be the first channel to screen abortion adverts.
I think there's a lot of misconception about this advert at the moment, because a lot of people, if you read the papers, will tell you that what this is about is advertising abortion, as in promoting abortion, but it's nothing to do with that. It's advertising an impartial advice service for young women.
Well, it can't be impartial if it's advertising it without any reference to morals or ethics, so it is partial.
No, but the whole point is that it's completely amoral. It doesn't tell you what you should be doing in that
Amoral or immoral?
situation.
You see, a lot of people will see it as immoral, and that's
amoral. It's absolutely amoral, because it doesn't say you should have an abortion or you shouldn't have an abortion. All it says is these are the options that are available to you.
Yes, but I suppose the argument's going to be, by being on television, you are promoting it, you're highlighting it, you're saying, look, whatever your situation, don't worry, you can get out of this.
Look, at the moment, the abortion services in this country are completely legal. This is an organisation that's completely legal as well, and the Advertising Standards Agency say this is absolutely fine. What we're looking at is a situation where it's building on research that the charity has done, which says that 50% of women don't know where to go if they actually want impartial advice other than their GP.
But you know what? They've done testing panels on this, and there's been massive public disdain for this. People don't want to see these adverts.
But the adverts are just for advice. They say nothing about whether abortion is a good or bad thing. Obviously, that would be awful if they were promoting abortion, but that's not what they're doing.
One of the people against it says to allow abortion providers to advertise on TV as though they were no different from car companies or detergent manufacturers is grotesque. They're getting the wrong end of the stick, you're saying?
Absolutely, because no one's advertising abortion. That would be absolutely appalling, and I would condemn that too. What I am in favour of is advertising impartial advice to women who, if they want to know their options, can call up and find out.
10:10 tonight on Channel 4. That's when we'll see that. Now, David Cameron, to crush his critics by opening up the 1922 committee. What is the 1922 committee?
The 1922 committee was set up to allow backbenchers to have a space to vent their frustrations with the leaders in an open and honest way. It's obviously existed for an incredibly long time. It's always been a part of the Tory party. It caused major problems for John Major when he was Prime Minister. Now Cameron has come in and he's saying we want to be able to ministers to be able to sit in this committee and also to vote on it. And this has obviously left a lot of backbenchers very disgruntled.
Yes, and to report back to him, to tell him what's going on.
No, absolutely.
Can he do that as leader of the party, or...?
I believe he can, but it seems a little bit like we're seeing at the moment the Tories are starting to change the rules of the game to suit the hand that they've been played. So it's very similar, I think, to their changing the vote in Parliament so that you can have 55% of people to dissolve the government rather than 50%. They seem to be saying, we're in a bit of a difficult situation here, guys, so let's change the rules to make sure that we can still stay in power and maintain control. And I don't think that's fair.
OK, meanwhile, with the Lib Dems and political reform, this was Nick Clegg's big speech yesterday.
Yeah, really interesting. I think it's about time that we had our civil liberties back in this country. Since 9/11, we saw a lot of them taken away, and now we're finally starting to realise that we went too far, and now things are kind of coming back.
It's amazing to hear this sort of language being expressed in the newspaper slot, not from John Gaunt or from James Whale here today. We've never heard anything like this before. Tell us more.
No, I think it's just a fantastic idea. I think there's a consensus that we went too far and people are angry and they want their civil liberties back. The question is, can Nick Clegg really deliver on this? Can he put forward? It's a very progressive agenda that he's put forward there. Can he actually do it?
Do you know what? Who cares? Who cares if there's a fixed parliament? Who cares if there's an elected lawyers? Who cares if there's voting reform? There's a lot of people out there who don't care. They just want their jobs, they want their health service secured, they want their bins emptied once a week. There's all these really practical issues, and Clegg is saying things like, tell me the laws you want ripped up. Is he going to listen? No, he's not going to listen. Do you seriously think he's going to listen to what laws people want dispensed with?
No, I do think that. And I also think that if you want to get your bins fixed and you want to have your local communities changed, you have to have an accountable system of government at the top. A lot of these kind of civil liberties proposals have, even involved people, local councils spying on your rubbish, for example. This isn't abstract, pie-in-the-sky stuff. It's really tangible and really affects the way people live their lives. A lot of these regulations are to do, for example, with ID cards that would affect your access to services. There's a lot of really practical stuff in here that I think is important.
Rana, what about this run on the euro yesterday?
I mean, I think it's really scary. I mean, the problem is that in Britain we say, look, we're not in the euro, so it doesn't affect us. But I think it's 54% of Britain's trade is with Europe. And that means that what happens there still does affect us, whether we're a member of the club, the Euro Club, or not. And so I really hope that Germany can help pull this together.
Yeah, not all nations may end up subscribing to the euro after this within the Eurozone. And Angela Merkel yesterday is saying that she has a certain amount of fear that the Eurozone will hold together monetarily.
Yeah, no, I think that is also a worry. I think another thing I'm worried about is the democracy of the issue, because what will happen now is that Brussels will start dictating fiscal policy of governments because they will say, look, you cannot get into debt because your debt affects everyone, and that will affect national policies and national government's ability to be able to deliver the policies that they want.
Finally, let's have a look at Wenlock and Mandeville again in the Daily Mirror, and this is them brought to life, Charlotte, out of the cartoon. Here's the cuddly versions of them. What on earth are we looking at there? What is that? What are they?
I think they're kind of a mixture between Teletubbies and Doctor Who or something, but actually just looking at it now, it looks a little bit like Cameron and Clegg. They're very similar, aren't they? Maybe that was the inspiration behind the whole thing. I think they're really fun, and I think go for it. They're quite original, they're quite crazy, they're quite creative. They're better than the logo that everyone hated. Yeah. My only concern with them is that you can't dangle these nice logos in front of the public and expect us to forget about things like the Olympic legacy or how much this is costing. They can't be used as a distraction, but as a bit of fun. Go for it.
The only flaw in your argument is that Wenlock and Mandeville may be worth £80 million. Cameron and Clegg, you decide. Let us know. Rowana, lovely seeing you. Back in an hour's time with more stories in the papers. Thanks for your take on those. Sky News Sunrise on a Thursday morning website. Very much indeed. That's Martin Brunt live there from Spain. We'll have the front pages of the newspapers on this Thursday after Charlotte at the news desk. What have you got?
Thanks, Eamon. More news about the coalition, and David Cameron and Nick Clegg will unveil full details of their historic coalition deal this morning and will reveal what they're claiming is common ground over a wide range of policy areas. One of those areas of agreement was the pledge to